What if the country that gave the world the internet, artificial intelligence, space exploration, and modern computing suddenly lost its technological crown? Could the United States, long seen as the global leader in innovation, actually be overtaken by other nations in the race for technological supremacy? This question is no longer hypothetical. In an era of rapid scientific progress, global competition, and shifting power dynamics, the future of American technological dominance is being actively debated. To know the mind-blowing and realistic facts, we welcome you to your own YouTube channel, TechMine 999, the channel where science, technology, and human intelligence meet. For more than a century, the United States of America has stood at the center of global technological progress. From the Industrial Revolution's later stages to the digital age, America has repeatedly set the pace for innovation. The telephone, electricity grids, automobiles, airplanes, computers, the internet, space travel, and artificial intelligence all bear the mark of American ingenuity. Silicon Valley alone has become a symbol of global innovation, influencing how billions of people live, work, communicate, and think. However, the modern world is no longer unipolar. Countries such as China, Germany, Japan, South Korea, and even smaller innovation-driven nations are investing heavily in science, technology, education, and research. Artificial intelligence, quantum computing, renewable energy, biotechnology, and space technology have become arenas of intense international competition. This raises a critical and timely question. Can America's supremacy be challenged by other countries in the field of technology? This essay explores that question in depth. It examines America's historical strengths, the rise of global competitors, the areas where the United States remains dominant, the vulnerabilities it faces, and the realistic scenarios under which its technological leadership could be challenged or transformed. Rather than offering a simple yes or no answer, this discussion seeks to understand the complex forces shaping the future of global technological power. To understand whether America can be overtaken, it is essential to first understand why it became dominant in the first place. America's technological leadership did not arise by chance. It was built on a foundation of education, immigration, capital investment, political stability, and a culture that rewards innovation. From the early 20th century, the United States invested heavily in scientific research and industrial development. World War II and the Cold War further accelerated technological progress. Government-funded research led to the development of radar, nuclear energy, aerospace engineering, and eventually the Internet. Institutions such as NASA and DARPA played critical roles in pushing the boundaries of what was technologically possible. Equally important was America's ability to commercialize innovation. Unlike many countries where research remains confined to laboratories, the US created strong links between universities, industry, and private investors. This allowed ideas to rapidly transform into products, companies, and global platforms. As a result, American firms did not merely invent technology, they scaled it worldwide. One of America's greatest technological strengths has been its cultural mindset. Innovation in the United States is closely tied to risk-taking. Failure is often viewed as a necessary step toward success rather than a permanent defeat. Entrepreneurs are encouraged to experiment, disrupt, and challenge existing systems. This cultural attitude contrasts with societies where failure carries heavy social or professional stigma. In the US, failed startups often lead to new ventures, stronger ideas, and more experienced innovators. This environment has been crucial for breakthroughs in software, artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and space technology. However, culture is not static. As other countries adopt similar risk-tolerant environments and entrepreneurial ecosystems, America's cultural advantage may narrow. The question then becomes whether the United States can continue to innovate faster than others who are learning from its model. In recent decades, several countries have emerged as serious technological competitors to the United States. China, in particular, has made unprecedented investments in artificial intelligence, 5G networks, quantum computing, and manufacturing automation. With strong government coordination, massive funding, and a large domestic market, China has rapidly closed technological gaps in multiple sectors. Germany and Japan remain global leaders in precision engineering, robotics, and industrial automation. South Korea dominates in semiconductor manufacturing, consumer electronics, and display technologies. Smaller nations such as Israel and Singapore have developed highly advanced innovation ecosystems, despite limited geographic size. These countries demonstrate that technological excellence is no longer confined to a single nation. Innovation is becoming increasingly distributed across the globe. While the United States still leads in many areas, it now faces competition that is well-funded, strategically organized, and technologically sophisticated. Artificial intelligence represents one of the most important technological frontiers of the 21st century. Leadership in AI could shape economic power, military strength, healthcare systems, and even political influence. The United States currently leads in AI research, talent, and commercialization. Most foundational AI models, algorithms, and platforms originate from American universities and companies. However, other nations are investing heavily in AI education, data infrastructure, and national strategies. China, for example, benefits from massive data availability and strong state-driven AI initiatives. European nations emphasize ethical AI and regulation-driven innovation. If America fails to maintain its lead in AI talent, computing infrastructure, and research funding, its dominance in this critical field could be challenged. One area where America faces significant risk is education. While the United States has some of the world's best universities, its broader education system faces challenges, particularly in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Other countries are rapidly improving STEM education, producing large numbers of engineers, scientists, and technical specialists. At the same time, restrictive immigration policies or declining global openness could reduce America's ability to attract top international talent. Historically, immigration has been one of America's greatest strengths. Many of its most successful technology companies were founded by immigrants or their children. If this pipeline weakens, America's innovation engine could slow, giving competitors an opportunity to catch up or surpass it. Technological leadership is not only about innovation but also about manufacturing and supply chains. In recent years, the United States has outsourced much of its manufacturing capacity to other countries. While this increased efficiency and reduced costs, it also created strategic vulnerabilities. Semiconductors, batteries, and advanced materials are critical to modern technology. Countries that control these supply chains gain significant leverage. Nations like Taiwan, South Korea, and China play central roles in global manufacturing networks. If the United States cannot rebuild or secure critical manufacturing capabilities, it may find itself technologically dependent on competitors. This dependence could limit innovation, national security, and economic resilience. Another factor that will determine America's future technological position is government policy. Historically, American leadership benefited from long-term investment in science and research. Today, political polarization, short-term policy cycles, and inconsistent funding threaten that legacy. In contrast, some competitor nations pursue long-term technological strategies spanning decades. These strategies align education, industry, defense, and infrastructure toward shared goals. If America fails to adopt a coherent long-term vision for technology, it risks losing ground in critical areas, too. However, the United States still possesses strong institutions, regulatory flexibility, and the ability to mobilize resources rapidly when national priorities are clear. Whether it chooses to do so consistently will shape its future position. Despite these challenges, it would be premature to declare America technologically defeated. The United States continues to lead in innovation ecosystems. Its ability to adapt, reinvent industries, and integrate new technologies remains unmatched. American companies are often the first to commercialize emerging technologies at global scale. The U.S. remains a hub for venture capital, research collaboration, and interdisciplinary innovation. Even when competitors excel in specific areas, American firms often integrate those advances into broader platforms. Adaptability has always been a defining feature of American technological leadership. The transition from hardware to software, from desktop computing to mobile platforms, and now to artificial intelligence demonstrates this flexibility. The concept of defeat in technology is complex. Unlike military conflict, Technological leadership is not absolute. It shifts across sectors, timelines, and regions. America may lose dominance in certain fields while remaining ahead in others. Rather than being completely defeated, it is more realistic to imagine a multipolar technological world where leadership is shared. In such a world, America would still be a major innovator, but no longer the sole or unquestioned leader. Whether this outcome represents defeat or evolution depends on perspective. B. If America measures success by absolute dominance, then yes, it could be defeated. If success is defined by continued innovation, influence, and contribution to global progress, then America's role may simply change rather than disappear. The future of technological leadership will not be decided by a single invention or nation, but by sustained investment, ethical responsibility, global collaboration, and the ability to adapt to rapid change. America's position is strong, but not invincible. In conclusion, America can be challenged in the field of technology, and in some areas, it already is. Rising global competitors, shifting economic realities, educational challenges, and supply chain vulnerabilities present real risks to American technological dominance. However, the United States still possesses unmatched strengths, a culture of innovation, world-class institutions, adaptive ecosystems, and a history of reinvention. Rather than asking whether America will be defeated, a more meaningful question is how America will respond. If it continues to invest in education, welcome global talent, support ethical innovation, and think long-term, it will remain a central force in global technology. The future of technology is not about one nation winning or losing, but about how humanity collectively shapes progress. America's role in that future will depend not on past achievements, but on the choices it makes today. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe the TechMind 999 channel. Also, do not forget to share this video with your friends and family, and post your comments about video for more deep, logical, and science-based content.